Ahoy there, sailors, and welcome to our last stream before sailing launches tomorrow. Today is such a special live stream. We are here in the studio with my wonderful set, and we're going to be inviting members from the team who worked on sailing to come and share some of their insights with us. Also, since it's the eve of sailing, we're celebrating in true British fashion with a pub crawl, of course, across Gillinor. So join us on World 520 in Port Sarum's pub, the Rusty Anchor Inn, and make sure to bring your best sailor fashion scape. While we get to our first round of guests, we're going to go through some announcements. So !AW is the music video that you just saw on stream. Please go watch it, give it a like. It was made with Alan Walker and the Jagex audio team. !Video, you can catch up with the latest sailing dev diary. And !merch, new sailing merch is dropping. More news on that later. Lastly, Discord, join our official Discord for all of your discussions on launch day feedback. Okay, I'm going to hand over to Mod Aiza for the next segment.
Hello everyone, and welcome again to the live stream. Thank you so much, Mod Light. Really appreciate the lovely intro. Get ready for the pub crawl, grab your outfits. It's going to be an absolute banger. Before we kick off all of the action though, I'm joined by two wonderful guests. I have Mod Kieran, the design director for Old School, as well as Mod North, the CEO of Jagex. So a huge, huge opportunity to get the two of these together and chat a few things about sailing. First of all, how are you both doing today?
Good, thank you. Very excited. I mean, what a moment this is going to be tomorrow.
Likewise, I was just saying to Kieran, I spent all day yesterday at home and I've done 11,000 steps, sort of pacing and pinching myself.
Were you
really
walking
excited.
to and from the start and the end of your super yacht?
I wasn't. I'm still... We said we wouldn't put this in, but I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Mod Aiza. No, I'm still mod yachtless, so no such luck.
I had a perfect opportunity to bring it in. I had to take advantage of that.
That's it. It's been a pleasure working with you.
Yeah. Well, whilst I still have the time to say it, thank you so much for taking time out of your extremely busy day of pacing back and forth to join us here. How are you feeling about the launch?
Yeah, unbelievably excited. It doesn't feel real, right? It's been so long, and when this was announced, I was still a player. I was on the other side of the screen. So being sat on this incredible set with you folks talking about this today doesn't quite feel real. But I think I couldn't be more proud. There are certain times when it's hard to keep the CEO hat on and not just have the player hat on, and I'm not doing a great job at the moment. It's too exciting to avoid.
Well, we love the excitement. It's definitely infectious. You say you're a player. I know that you're deeply connected to the game as well. And I'm just curious, what does sailing actually mean for you? As a person, as opposed to a CEO right now? I'll ask that one next.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I think it probably means similar to me as it does to lots of other people on this team. I think 6 years ago when we were polling warding, and it was Goody making a video, like comparing where we were then and where we are now these are two totally different beasts. It means an enormous amount to me, but I think it means an enormous amount to me on behalf of the team that have brought us here. This would not have been possible. It wasn't possible half a decade ago. Today it is. I think that's testament not only to just how well our team has done for the last 3 years working on this, but also to the way the community's sort of changed and grown in their trust in the team that's allowed this to become real. It's like a fever dream. It's pinching myself.
Are we going to see you at the top of the high scores?
No, God, no. You've seen what my calendar looks like. There's no way. But all week I've been asked who do we think is going to take the top spot. I think we have an internal bet on that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How important is sailing for Jagex?
It's enormous. It's enormous. It's going to be chapter defining for this game. I think the fact that we have a new skill coming to a game that is defined by sacred ground and not wanting to rock the boat too much. That'll be the first of 3 or 4 puns today, I'm sure. I think we've turned a corner in this. I think the team have turned a corner. I think the game's turned a corner. I think the community has as well. And it suggests to me that if we can get to this point with all of the polling infrastructure and community consultation that's necessary, what could the future hold in terms of scale of updates? I think our polling system is one of the best things about Jagex and about Old School. And if we can release something like sailing against the background of a polling system like this, it suggests that the trust between our team and players is greater than it's ever been, which for me is monumental.
Amazing. Thank you. So a question for you both then. Let's start off with you, perhaps, Kieran, first. What has been your favourite part of this entire process so far, or the journey?
Oh, there's so many moments that you can look back on. I mean, firstly, the passing the pole moment, because it was like, sailing's happening. Oh my God, we're actually going to do this. So it's kind of terrifying. We've got a lot of hard work ahead of us, and we're going to have to deliver something that really delivers on the faith and trust put in us. Other moments that just, I think the last 3-4 months or so especially, where it really has went from, and most projects go through this, where it's like, it's not real.
Yeah.
And it feels a mile off getting finished, to everything starts to come together. You've got all the graphics coming and all the balancing starts getting done. And you're like, this is a real project. And it's really darn good.
Yeah.
And you've seen that belief just rise in everybody in the team over that last 3-4 month period. And that's just it's been rewarding to see that. But the amount of hard work everyone's done in that period has just been astounding. So the fact we're stood here now, we're sat, but you know,
We're actually only this big.
yeah.
Well, to be fair, I'm
sure.
probably just as high sat down here as I am stood up. So
But yeah, obviously tomorrow is going to be the real moment, and it's going to be a blessing to finally be able to sit down and watch a Twitch stream of somebody playing it and seeing what happens. Like, it's going to be amazing.
nice. Can you top that one, North?
No, definitely not. So I think for me, it was surreal watching this take shape over the last few months. I mean, it's been a really, really long road to get here. But I think it came to life for me. I actually had Kieran and Elena walk me through for about an hour some of the highlights of sailing. I'd already seen all the same releases as our community. So I thought I had a pretty good idea of what was coming. I realized 3 or 4 weeks ago that I didn't. And this is a whole game's worth of content. It sort of blew my mind. By the end of it, I was just fanboying, and there was no professional comments left to make. I was just sort of speechless at the end of it. So that was my, oh my word, this is going to be insane moment.
I think we were talking in that session, like, one of the features in the update that obviously everyone knows about is we've got a new Slayer boss, right? That is normally a release,
Yeah.
right? If you think
That's a
about
good
it.
point.
And that is a tiny fraction of the scale of this update. So to really put in perspective how big this is, obviously we've been working on it for 3 years, but the size of it, there's so much to discover, and I can't wait for that exploration component of sailing to really come home to roost.
I'm really looking forward to that part as well. I've purposely kept myself away from the finer, minute details, because for me as a player, I love that aspect of exploration and being able to right-click, examine everything, find the Easter eggs and the spoilers, in old school especially. So getting out to be able to watch people do that, and me just kind of like experiencing it with them along the way, I'm like so pumped. I'm not looking forward to the really early start tomorrow, but it will all be worth it, I'm sure. Now, North, as a CEO, you have a lot of contacts. You speak to a lot of people in the industry. I know that you're extremely busy, always out connecting. Have there been any kind of like standout moments when you've been talking to others within the industry where they've kind of like felt what we're doing is crazy, or that you've been able to like had difficulties explaining just how we've gone through the process? Any kind of story like that you could share with us today?
Yeah, so I think that blows my mind most frequently is just how many gaming CEOs, CTOs, like top tier executives at gaming companies play old school or play RuneScape in the background. They're
Nice.
running other game studios and they actually play old school or they play RuneScape. That never fails to amaze me. Just this morning, I had a chat with a friend of mine who is a senior executive at a very large LA, California-based studio, who apparently has been playing old school for 15, 20 years. And sometimes I hear them say these things and I think, oh, that's nice of you to say. But then he logged in and screen shared and the guy's not playing around. And it's like that I think blows my mind. And there have been many conversations where I intend to bring sailing up and the person I'm speaking to brings it up before I can. I think the excitement is undeniable.
Nice. Well, that's really cool to hear. It's always astounding just how many secret old school or RuneScape players there are out there. You know, every now and then you'll see a tweet come up and it's just like, what? The least expected thing. And then, we have moments like Alan Walker at Tomorrowland, which has formed into this huge collaboration, which has been fantastic. You all saw the video at the very start of the stream here. So wonderful news. And hopefully maybe some more of these conversations will lead to even bigger and better things.
Who knows?
Last question from me for now at least, is I just want to know, what is a moment from this whole journey that you are going to remember for the rest of time? Whether it be big or small.
I think it's a good question. There's so many. Like it's been such a journey to get here. Picking a single defining moment is going to be really hard. But I think seeing the Alan Walker music video drop was it was the first time ever that week, and I sort of remember sitting back in the chair thinking, words don't describe just how proud I sort of felt in that moment to see this game that I think I'd played since childhood, and nearly everybody around this table and in this building has as well, collaborate with a top tier music artist on its first new skill after 3 years of development. I sort of sat back and thought, this feels insane. Like this, it's hard for me to articulate it even now. It feels like we see the Platinum Age meme all the time on Reddit. That felt like Platinum Age to me. We'll go up and up from here, obviously, but it feels like we're at a moment in time that we should take stock of and be grateful to the community and for our team, because it's not often you get a moment like this.
Very well said. Thank you. I appreciate that. And how about yourself, Kieran?
I think I'm going to save my favorite moment for tomorrow, because that's the moment where you really realize all that work, it's going out, and I'm waiting for the moment, not necessarily the launch itself, but the moment the team celebrates, clinks a few glasses, and just has that chance to we'll always do awkward speeches to each other, and like that moment of like reflection of like, look at what we've accomplished, because the team genuinely accomplished something really special. It goes so far beyond anything we've put out before, and I think we've pulled it off. Touch wood, the launch goes well. But I'm so excited for it, and the impact it's going to have on Old School and our future projects for years to come. I think there's so much potential still that this is bringing to the game that isn't just realized tomorrow, but realized even in the next 5 years. So
amazing. Incredible words. Well, an extremely exciting time. Very much looking forward to tomorrow. Thank you so much, Mod North, for joining me. Kieran, I believe that you're going to be staying on. We're going to be joined by Mods Husky and Elena. So myself and Mod North are going to make a quick, swift exit from the set and let those mods join, so you can listen to all of their wonderful thoughts and feelings around the skill as we progress through onto the pub crawl. So for now, we will say farewell. The stream is continuing on. Stay tuned, stay around, and we'll see you shortly.
Perfect. Before we welcome our next lot of mods, let's take a look in game at how people are getting on in the pub crawl. This is the first time I'm actually seeing how many people have showed up, so thank you so much. There's so many people. Oh my goodness. I don't know how we're going to pick. We're going to try and find out who's the best dressed. So we've got some behind the scenes mods collecting screenshots of all your outfits, so you can look forward to that at the end of the stream. We are currently at the Rusty Anchor Inn in Port Sarim, so make sure you head there. It's World 520. Oh, I'm wondering if there's anyone transmogging yet in game. I was told that there would be some JMods using the rotten potato, so keep an eye on that if you see that. Oh, there we are. Oh wow. Perfect. Love to see the outfits, guys. Keep it up. And now we are joined by a new set of mods. So welcome, mods Kieran, Elena, and Husky. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves, Elena and Husky?
Sure, yeah. I'm Mod Elena, senior game designer. Been working on sailing since the beginning. 3 years in the making. It's crazy.
Basically the same words, right? Same job title, same project, same time.
Different name.
Different name, yeah. I'm Mod Husky, so I should probably start with there. I think it's been the two of us neck and neck from the beginning, which has just been crazy. God.
Can't believe we're here, honestly.
Yeah.
It has been really since the very beginning, and I kind of wanted to give the audience a bit of insight into the early beginnings of sailing. So are you able to share a little bit more about that with us?
Do our memories go back that far?
What meetings did we have before we first pulled Do You Want a Skill? That's where we really started, right? I think it was the Winter Summit 2022, December 2022.
We can see a picture here, actually. Do you remember that, Husky?
Yeah, that was ages
gosh.
ago. So I don't know if they could see it easily on the stream, but that says exploration, which I remember early on we were like, what cool utility school? And we'd done this poll, right? We'd ask players what kind of things they wanted from a skill, what type of skill they wanted, did they want gathering, production. And there was a lot of exploration kind of vibes, which makes sense. Players like area expansion,
Yep.
so they want to see what that would look like in a skill form and stuff. So we were prototyping around that and sort of ideas, and we had a lot of problems with exploration isn't repeatable and skills are repeatable, right? So how do you connect that? That eventually, I think, probably near the end of that process, actually, which I think was something you brought up, which is like, why don't we just turn exploration into sailing? Which like, that was like that like pin drop moment where everyone had this idea of sailing as it was originally Paul back then, you know, like, oh, it's almost like I go to an instance that is on a port, right? And it's just this piece of content. And it was like, yeah, what if we did just actually explore the entire ocean? What if you could just like, for all intents and purposes, walk across the ocean, there's content there and there's things beyond it.
And it let us scratch both itches, because we saw suggestions for exploration, right? You remember that big Reddit thread of the huge pitch for different, I mean, we've had loads of different skills, which was all amazing and contributed so much to helping us see what resonated ideas-wise. But sailing kept coming up naturally. I came up in the surveys that we did in consultation, and when we developed this exploration idea, it was like, sailing's the way to take it, really. You can't find anything interesting in exploring lands you've already explored. Exploring the ocean feels like it makes perfect sense.
And it was more so taking that exploration part and saying, this is the reward space, more so than the core of the skill, right? All of our training methods in sailing were developed to be repeatable skilling methods, things that made sense to be in a skill context. And I think it was just that moment, because like we'd written off sailing way from the get-go. So we're like, nah, we don't want to redo that idea. We don't like instance ports, but just never had connected the dots until near the end.
Unlike the community said no in the past, right?
Yeah.
We voted for it, what was it, 2015 or something like that? People didn't want it. So it was a big sort of, I guess, a bold move in a way to try to bring it back. But we knew that we had different capabilities now. The team's bigger. Communities changed. The game's changed a lot since then. Yeah.
We are so much better equipped for handling a project like this.
Yeah.
And it was still tough, right? This has been hard
Absolutely.
work for you all and the team and everything. And back then, in a sense, like, if sailing had passed back in 2015, God knows what the result would have been. And I don't think we really probably quite understood the ambition we had put out for ourselves back then.
That was back in the days when engine work was a mythical beast that strolled into the office on a blue moon every third year, right? It wasn't something that the old school team had, right? And now look, we have like dedicated engine resource. Like I'm sure we'll hear from Modnin later, who has been dedicated on sailing for 3 years, and like you need that to accomplish a project of this scale. Like, you know, I know our faces get thrown around a lot as being, you know, the faces of the devs on sailing, but this is in no small part due to his awesome work.
There are so many unsung heroes as well on this project. People behind the scenes who, like, the community barely know their names potentially from the news posts, but there are so many people who have been a huge part of this project that you guys unfortunately haven't seen, but they're definitely there and doing awesome work every day.
I think if you compare the visions, right? The vision of what we got with sailing here is real sailing. You're on the oceans, you're going from dock to dock, like... You park your ship at Port Sarim, you get off the ship, your
Can't park
boat's
there, mate.
Can't park there, mate. Your boat's there. You go and get your port test, you get back on. Like, it feels really integrated and real, whilst what was being pitched back in 2015 was like a lot of building the boats and then a maze at sea, like Dungeoneering inspired, which would have never been as... The vision we've got for this thing is so different to that. And so much better. I'm so glad we didn't do it back in 2015. I'm so buzzing with what you've all been able to create now.
At the risk of crashing the plank market saying this, I genuinely wonder how many players still think to this day that what we're releasing tomorrow is that you train sailing through building boats. Because that's construction XP. I'm sorry to break that to anyone. Maybe you're going to sell your oak planks thinking that realizing sailing isn't a buyable. But obviously there's that nature of it, right? There's going to be this whole new economy with new resources that's really exciting. We were just talking in the office today, like people's first getting their hands on hemp, right? And it's like, because everyone wants that upgrade and, you know, for their sales.
Yeah.
And
That leads me perfectly on into the next question, which is, what features are you most excited about with sailing for players to get their hands on?
Oh, wow. I mean, part of it is just the fundamental, like being able to go on the sea. It's this huge area that we know exists in the world. We've never been able to go on it. Seeing familiar sights from that different angle is such a interesting and fun experience. And it keeps blowing my mind, even after sailing for hours and hours doing testing. it still amazes me when I see like Tutorial Island again, or the Wizard's Tower, or anywhere. It's really cool.
I guess I'll go to the more technical part, I guess, which is obviously very selfishly going to promote. I think Barracuda Trials are going to be like a headline thing for sailing. I think there's some of the most involved content that tests you and how well you can move your boat. And I'm not kidding when I say that, like, you think you know how to move a boat, and like there are things to learn. I've seen some awesome videos from.
But you don't.
I find myself looking at people playing that the most. Like that's the most engaging thing for me to watch when I'm watching other people playing sailing.
There were some videos went out by a creator who was, you know, highlighting some of the extra things you can do to get speed that are even on like an engine level and stuff. And like, we all know that like players will dissect boat movement to that level. Like you talk about all the efficiencies people already know about player movement, and then now they've got to figure that out on boats, which is a way more complex space.
I think that's part of the fun, though.
It really is.
Really exciting.
We're going to see Barracuda trial times the first week, and then like someone is going to demolish them and come out with a new video like 3 months later that's like Marlin Gwyneth Glide made trivial with these 10 easy steps or something, you know, and I'm sure they'll get a lot of clicks and views. But like that's the fun part, because like players are, you know, 3 months from now going to forget how newbie they are tomorrow. And I think that's going to be really fun and exciting to see.
Yeah.
The movement stuff actually reminded me, Kieran, you talked about this recently, where there were initially concerns about adding a new movement system because the player movement is so familiar. Do you want to expand on that a bit?
I mean, obviously, like that was a concern brought up by some players, right? Like worried, like I'm so familiar with the movement. I want, you know, it feels unnatural that something would operate in a different way to what I've learned all these years. And to me, it's like, well, you've got player movement. That's awesome. You can learn that. You can optimize everything out of it, make the most of it at Sepulchre and all these other bits of content. But now you get to learn something else on top. And like, to me, it's just, you've got both. And hopefully sailing lives up to being as awesome as player movement in a different way with boats. And I think already we've already seen YouTube videos of people trying to work out better ways to move their boat and optimize it. And to me, that's already proof that like boat movement is also going to be fun and something else people can like play with in a fun way. So we'll see how it goes. But Barracuda Trials really do give you that opportunity to like play with boat movement.
It's a skill in itself, right? Like being able to move efficiently and faster and being better at it. It's quite satisfying getting better at it.
Something I wonder if it'll get a bit more of a spotlight in, you don't do player movement necessarily these much these days, is right click to now interact with things. Because left clicking is always more efficient. But most of what the player interacts with on the screen, even bosses, are relatively static. But you're moving at quite high speeds in a boat, and getting that misclick wrong and just turning off towards it can be really detrimental, to the point where I found myself on some of these like later trials, right-clicking the thing I want to interact with, holding, waiting till I'm perfectly in the position and range, and then clicking. And I think like that's a skill I'm curious to see if it'll develop, or people will just say, nah, Husky, your clicks are just inaccurate. I don't need to right click. I'll just always left click everything and nail it perfectly. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see, because like a lot of boat movement is like you'll set the command and then it'll take a while to turn around. So you have got that time to like get a pre right click in. Player movement's so like tick, 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 you know, where it's just not feasible, you know.
I would love to share what we can without too many spoilers about what is next for sailing in 2026. So obviously I've tried to communicate in some of the blogs. We are a flexible team. We're willing to adapt, but what's on the cards that you can kind of share with us about the next kind of content ahead for sailing?
So in the immediate term, we're going to be we have a bunch of time just set aside for feedback, like immediate like launch feedback, right? So fixing issues that come up, or, you know, like rebalancing things, that kind of stuff. In the longer term, we're kind of just guessing what people are going to want more of. So we've got a couple of different things lined up, one of them being another quest. We've got, oh God, my mind blanked for a second. God, what do we have? We have...
I think one of the more obvious ones, like maybe a bit later down the line, is opening up the rest of the sea and just sort of like looking at what those areas have. Very I guess even early on we didn't realize, but you get closer to launch day and you're kind of thinking, what's more important? You know, do you want a smaller set of content that's more rich and more developed out, or do you want a larger, more sparse one? So we've intentionally locked off some areas of the sea behind like a hazard that is uncounterable. So a player will sail into it and there'll be negative impacts. They can't go any further and that kind of stuff. But that'll be exciting to see what goes next. It'll be interesting to see what the players want us to go next. Do they want us to go like over towards Mauritania and tackle like what we've called like the cursed or profane waters? Would they rather we go more sort of like northern wilderness and tackle like where the boiling seas are? Because those are cool things we can explore in the future. You get a new facility, it counters this hazard, suddenly you can go off and explore that area. It just sort of opens itself a bit more naturally. But then the other question is, what content is in that area, right? That's a whole other question.
I do remember now as well. I'll jump back in. So, because as I said, we're just kind of guessing. So we expect a bunch of different feedback on different content when it goes live. I fully expect people to want more Barracuda trials. Like, is what you're most excited about. I imagine a lot of players will feel that way as well. That's probably something a bit, maybe like mid to late next year. I don't want to give concrete timelines because if that's something that everyone wants, we'll prioritize that, right? But port tasks is an area where we feel like we could use some more variety as well, like adding even more types of port tasks. At the moment, we have two main sort of categories. One is courier tasks, which takes something from A to B. We also have bounty tasks, which is all about like going out, killing some creatures, bringing their drops back, kind of like hunter rumors mixed with combat. But we want to add more to that as well. So that's a big thing to look out for next year. But as Modlight said, like, we're flexible. If people want something, then we'll prioritize that.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing that insight with us today. Some of you will be returning, so I will see you again.
See you later.
Yeah, thank you.
We're going
Thank
to
you.
check in at our next pub. So everyone finish your drinks if you're drinking them. We're heading somewhere warmer now to Karamja. And let's take a look in game to see if we can see people heading there. Oh, we're still at Port Sarim. Are we walking or are we teleporting? Let's find out. Oh, we're going to Karamja, literally. Oh my God, who's the duck? Oh, that's Mod Pogo. Perfect. Wow, there's so many of you. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for taking the time in your day to join us. Perfect. Yeah, we're just getting our next rounds of guests on. While you head that way, we're going to check out some sailing merch that's just gone live. Remember to use !merch to find out more.
Wow. Nice.
Where did you get that sweet merch?
That's nothing. Wait till you see this.
My eyes!
Is that sailing merch? I need that turtle pin in my life.
You can have these sweet pins if you can defeat Jad. Blindfolded.
Blindfolded? Oh my god.
You monster.
Nani?
Do not mess this up.
Got this.
I can't see anything.
Range!
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 Have I done it?
Yes! Yes!
I've done it.
You did it!
I've done it.
You've done it!
Nani. Let me welcome our QA team, engine team, and systems team. Welcome to Mod Lenny, Nin, and Mod Liebler. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
I can go first. I'm Mod Liebler, or Liebler, some people say. QA analyst on Old School RuneScape, previously on our stream with Mod Ebb and Mod Shogun. Been on for about 2 years. I think I just said that, but yeah.
Yep, I'm Mod Nin. I'm a game systems engineer, so the engine work that Husky was talking about earlier, that's been coming from me and my team. I've been on sailing, well, I started on sailing right at the very beginning of it, Been on Old School since 2020, and yeah, that's me.
And I am Mod Lenny. I am one of Old School's lead technical designers, and I've spent the past 2 years or so working on sailing.
Cool. So my first question for all of you is, what are the key moments of sailing for you?
That's a hard question.
Yeah, I'm going to start right back. Way back, like just before the first, like before sailing had actually passed the poll, I remember speaking to Husky in the office about like how on earth are we actually going to achieve that? Like we'd said, hey guys, what if you want sailing? And then we all looked at each other like, guys, the engine can't do that. Like the game engine, you can make a guy walk and that's it. That's all the engine can do. So how on earth are we going to make boats? The best we could do would be to like transmog the player into a boat model that would just sail around the ocean. That would be crap. It wouldn't feel like properly integrated into the game. So we had a game jam at that time. I made it my goal to make one of the boats in Port Sarim move, because it's like, oh, the boats are already there. They already exist in the game. If we can make those move, the old school boats that have always been there, sailing will be able to feel old school. So that was getting that working and then showing it to the team and everyone suddenly being like, bro.
It was a huge moment. I remember being there and people were amazed at what you did there.
That was very cool.
Yeah. And I guess, from there, that's the tech that we call world entities. And once we had these world entities in place and boats could exist, that was one thing. But, we don't just want random boats in the world. We don't just want a boat. We want my boat, a player's boat. And so we had to sort of go into then, how do people actually own boats, customize them, those sorts of things. And building up those systems has been a lot of work over the past couple of years. But I think, it's gotten into a really good state now.
It's turned out so well. I think we did such a great job of integrating everything. You made it so that you'll sail up to a dock and you'll disembark from your boat and your boat will stay there. Your boat, not anyone else's boat, and it won't disappear. It's still there and you can see it.
Yeah.
And then when we come back to it, it's still there. And it could be this like dinky little raft and you're like, that's my boat. It's still there.
You can see the terrible parking job that you did.
So that kind of leads me into, I would love to explain to the audience kind of how the systems work behind the scenes. So could you explain the concept of what is boat world and how do we actually manage to get the boats working in the way that they currently do?
Okay, how long do we have?
Not too long. So
Okay.
you have to explain it really, really quickly.
I'll do my best. Okay, so you know how, let's say you go into a boss instance, you're fighting Hydra. You're in your own copy of the Hydra boss. That kind of, it exists like way off in the distance. We copy the boss room and then you're there and Hydra's there. For boats, we do the same thing. Your boat isn't actually where we say it is. It is way off in the distance, similar to like any other instance. And we just draw that where a boat should be. So you have sailed your boat to the Pandemonium. We just kind of draw that instance where your boat should be, and then it looks like your boat's in the world. That's maybe like 10% of the story.
I think the easier way of explaining it is magic. It's just magic.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and that puts us in this place where, you can now see yourself in the world on your boat, and what you could do then was interact with the things on your boat. The sort of next piece of the puzzle from there was all of the interactions outside of that. We don't just want you on your boat. You can talk to a guy on it. You can click on the anchor. We want you to be able to interact with NPCs that are out at sea, interact with the docks to actually sort of disembark on land, things like that. And some of the sort of interesting challenges that we had there was the fact that, like Nin says, you're way off in instance land, which is 10,000 tiles away from where you actually are. So normally, you click on an NPC to attack them and we want to say, yeah, my bow can shoot 6 tiles. Like, am I within the 6 tiles of this NPC? And the answer is no, I'm 10,006 tiles away from it.
Right.
And we've kind of got to deal with all of that and figure out, okay, we don't just care about now where you are, but where in the world you are at the same time.
I imagine it's a lot of new tech that we've brought into the game, and there's probably a lot of new possibilities where you can use that tech outside of sailing in the future, right?
Yeah, I think Kieran said earlier that like this was a really ambitious project and we might not have realized at the start quite how ambitious it is. And you know, if we went back, I would have been like, that guy's, that's really ambitious. But at the same time, I'm so excited that we were able to do it. Because it brings the world to life so much to have, and it's things we can use in the future as well. There could be some crazy agility courses that use the same tech, or some new bosses and things. It could be really, really cool.
Yeah, we've had thoughts before about, you know, a moving platform in a dungeon or a moving train or something like that you could be on. We put together a stupid prototype one evening of a sports car in games that, that we could just jump in and drive around.
Yeah, the J model Lamborghini.
We need that on the rotten potato transfer.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So with all of this new tech, I imagine there's a lot of testing that needs to be done, Libla.
Yeah, there's been quite a lot. I mean, it's also just the biggest project we've ever done, right?
Yeah.
Not even just in scope of the project, but in team size as well has been a really big thing. It's made communication really important for us. And we've been testing from individual feature all the way to integration and system testing. It's been a lot. One thing we took from RS3 as well, on longevity testing that they've been doing, we learned a lot from that, and we've been implementing that into us on sailing.
Yeah, and that's been super useful. Like we've had worlds, internal worlds, game worlds, open with sailing on them, and it's like, all right, everyone, jump on this world. You're level 1. Make a copy of your live save and just like play it through all the levels. And it's been there for a while, and you get to kind of see how the skill like truly feels from start to however far you get. Not to finish, because a lot of people don't ever finish skills. 99 is a big ask. But it's been very, very cool.
Yeah, I think we ran longevity for about 6 months internally and found about 300 issues, so it's been worth it for sure.
Yeah, it's super cool as well that we could take that learning from, you know, the RuneScape team. They had a lot to share with us, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, we actually had some folk from RS3 helping us with testing and sailing.
Yeah,
which has been really useful.
That's really cool that we can collaborate across like games to do that.
Yeah.
Any hilarious QA bugs that we've found that we want to share?
There's one with enchanted brooms that I like quite a lot. I think we've talked about it in the past, but we can see it on screen. Yeah, so is it Lunar Isle, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah, next to Lunar Isle, we've got some enchanted brooms that have been mapped down, I think, quite a long time, like 10 plus years. Not mapped down even, they've been added in script. And someone made a mistake in the past, apparently, and they've just been there ever since. Yeah.
They're just sailing around and there is a broom in
Yeah,
the sea.
it was one of the early things that we discovered, and they just kept coming back.
Did you fix that? Because that's definitely a feature now, right?
I hope it's fixed.
That has to be a feature.
I'll make sure to quadruple check that.
Any other cool bugs?
We've got one with Temporos that went live, which was a bit embarrassing. I think that's going to go on screen as well, potentially, where we set fire to the sea.
Oh, we don't have a picture of that.
Oh, do we not? Oh, well, I'm sure you can find it on Reddit.
Find it on Reddit.
Posts, yeah.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that you see because obviously RuneScape's so big, there's so much to it. The change that caused the fire to spread into the ocean was that previously the ocean was it had what we call collision blocking mapped down, so you're not allowed to stand on the sea. For sailing, well, okay, you can't stand on the sea, but your boat can be on the sea. We have to remove that collision. And Temporos just kind of assumed that it was there, and now it's not, and oh no, the fire's now spread halfway across the sea.
Unfortunate.
Of all the things to happen to the sea, catching fire was not on our bingo card.
It's our new, like, this is fine meme.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, we had some fun bugs with combat as well. Obviously, we were talking before about the fact that you're now so far away in the world, and we've enabled it so that you can attack NPCs out at sea with whatever weapons you want, with a bow and arrow, with a staff. And a few weapons had been missed in an earlier iteration, and so if you were attacking with Trimican's Shadow, I think, for one example, people to start were just reporting that it just wasn't working. You were just shooting it, you'd get the XP, but the monster wasn't being hit. And when I sort of started looking at it, I was like, they're going to get hit. It's just going to take about 3 years. It's traveling from 10,000 tiles away. And if you zoomed in, you could see the projectile from it just like edging ever so slowly closer and closer to the monster.
That is
Yeah, so far.
That is wild.
Yeah, I've got a couple more funny ones as well. So earlier, Nin talked about how we've got boat permanence, where like if you get off the boat will remain at sea. Well, one of the early issues that we discovered was if you get off the boat and other players can't see your boat, if an NPC is attacking your boat, it's just going to be attacking nothing to other players. And then we fixed that, and after fixing that, the NPC would like naturally path back to its own destination, and then it would just path through land. So if it was a shark, it would just get stuck on the land.
Oh, there was another one as well where like the NPCs wouldn't ever de-aggro from your boat. So you'd have a shark following you. Ooh, scary and ominous.
Yeah.
And it would not leave you alone. Like it would follow you like to the end of the world and back.
You just end up going back to port with like 18 sharks on you.
Aww.
Yeah, so it's crazy that you spend like 2 years on a project and you think everything's working really fine, or at least well enough, and then like all these little tiny things come up and you're just like,
it probably gets to the point where
happen?
nothing surprises you anymore.
No.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that insight. I want to reassure players that we are going to make sure that the launch is not that stressful. That's why we test things. But we will be on hand, obviously, during the launch period. The whole team is here. So make sure to let us know your feedback. If you do come across a bug, use the bug report function in game, or you can head to our Discord and we'll make sure that we note it down. And hey, they might become a story one day on a live stream. Well, thank you so much to our wonderful guests. As we transition, I'm just going to give a quick shout out to all of the players joining us in game. Awesome. This is the Karamja pub at Musa Point. I hope you guys are not feeling too inebriated. But yeah, I'm loving all the fashion scape. There's lots of people dressing up as sailors, so bonus points for that. Lots of little pirate hats that I could see. I did try to get us like a way of dropping alcohol or pints for you, but since JMod accounts can't really trade, yeah, it wasn't possible, but maybe one for next time. Yeah. Oh, who is that? Who's dressed up as Santa? A little bit early for that, but yeah, let us know in the chat if you've got your Christmas trees up. All right. So we're now going to be welcoming some of our creative guests. We have Mod Grub from the art team and Mod Surma from audio, plus our returning guest, Mod Elena. Also, we're going to be heading to the Gnome Stronghold pub. So that is our next pub, the next stop. All right, welcome. Hopefully we're seamlessly transitioned now. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves, Mod Grub and Mod Surma?
Sure. I'm Mod Grub, Senior Concept on Old School RuneScape, and I've been working on sailing for the last 3 years.
Hello, I'm Mod Surma. I'm Senior Audio Designer, and I've also been working on sailing for maybe nearly 3 years. I can't remember now, but it's been a long time.
And Mod Elena.
Oh, am I introducing myself again? I'm still Mod Elena.
For those who just joined. Perfect. So Mod Grub, I'd love to start with you and just talk a little bit more about the art direction of sailing. So without spoiling too much, what can you tell us about some of the new areas that we're going to explore tomorrow? And also I'd love to know a bit more about the research that you did going into this project, if you can.
Sure. It's a huge question. I'm going to try and answer that without spoiling anything. So sailing basically doubles the size of the world map. So it's an enormous, enormous expansion update. To service that with art has required a tremendous amount of research, mostly because, well, for a few reasons actually, and I'll take it apart. So we have the carpet, pretty big issue. Suddenly you're going to be walking around, complex environments with mountains, trees, and forests, and now you're on the carpet. So we had a tremendous amount of work trying to make that interesting. And it turns out, when you really look into it, the ocean is not just a blue expanse with a couple of waves and a bit of wind. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of biomes. There's a lot of different... there's actually all sorts. I could go through a list. It might be a bit tedious. That's in the real world. If you go into a fantasy world, there's even more ways you can make the ocean kind of interesting. So not only have we done a lot of contextual referencing in the real world, we've actually gone into Gielinor itself and asked, we're adding sailing. What would it look like from the very beginning if it was added right in the beginning? How would that have actually been translated into the game? How can we add it into the game without it feeling like some kind of freaky new thing that's just going to completely destroy the vibe? So a lot of our research, especially in the beginning, was trying to kind of homogenize and unify it, make it feel like it's natural. It makes it feel like it should be here.
It's really interesting because, like, you've reminded me, we frequently get asked, like, what does it mean that something is old school? And I always think of it as the composition of both, like, gameplay, but almost more importantly, sound and the visuals. Like, that plays such a big part in it feeling old school. And that's sort of been the point of sailing, is that, like, yes, it's new, it's an expansion, but it should also feel like it's been there from the beginning.
I think with whatever new tech or whatever new tools we get, it's always really important to keep that old school DNA intact, because we don't want to go further. We don't want to kind of move away from that realm, that kind of box. We may want to push the boundaries, but still keep it undeniably old school always.
Yeah, definitely. And so, for example, you know, we had the boats in Port Sarim. We already know what an old school boat is, and we've had that for we've had that for such a long time. So when we had to start pushing that box out, right, and we had to redesign that boat or remaster it, at least make it kind of make sense. I don't know if everyone remembers what the old boats looked like, but they had the you know, the tiller at the back, kind of right up against the mast. So we've had to push that box out a little bit, but doing that simultaneously while retaining all of that kind of synergy you were talking about, Elena, between the audio, the art, and the design. I think if we touch on that synergy and what makes that really work, is that the graphics themselves don't take themselves too seriously, and the audio as well. It's not.
Well, it's a similar thing. It doesn't always take it too seriously. It depends on what the content is, right? If it's maybe like a raid or a big boss encounter, maybe. But
so that's it.
But maybe like it depends on what it is. If it's for sailing, then it kind of falls into that realm of not too serious, but still serious.
But when is it serious?
But when?
And yeah. So we've had to go into sailing and work out the kind of character of it, and kind of integrate that into old school and work out how the art should express that. It's been a journey. I'm really proud. I must say I'm really proud of where we're at. I feel like we do have something that maybe has advanced the kind of visual fidelity of old school slightly and has kind of refined some things, but what we're left with is definitely something I feel like is homogenous. It feels like it's part of old school. And that's really bizarre. When you jump on a boat and you're sailing and it looks like you're still in old school, it's a very bizarre experience that I'm excited for people to have their first experience of that.
Yeah, I appreciate as well. We were talking earlier at lunch and we were talking about trying to avoid stereotypes with sailing.
Yeah.
And I really love that you mentioned that and you went through that, and that's something that was consciously in your mind when you developed the art for it.
For sure. I think, like, unfortunately, maybe a lot of people going to sailing might have had a fixed idea of what that journey will be for them and what it will feel like. And maybe they'll think of Pirates of the Caribbean or whatever kind of, like, popular culture there is out there. And that's actually, though there is a little bit of that in old school, it's got its own thing going on. And
yeah. Likewise, we were like, we're not doing pirates. This is not a pirate game. It's a sailing. So it's two different worlds there. So
that's right.
It's important to kind of make that segregation.
I'm excited for players to see it. Do you have a favorite new asset or, like, for example, track or piece of art that you worked on? And Elena, piece of content?
I didn't make the art for it. That's for sure. That would have not been good. But I personally love the bank crab. Like, it's such a cool asset. It's really cool. And I didn't expect it. It just showed up one day and I was like, that's awesome.
Yes.
It's hard. I mean, I worked on so much of it, so it's hard to pick a favorite. I think Scrongly really kind of encapsulated the team energy towards the end, so definitely relating to that. But genuinely, I'm really proud of the boats, the skiff, the sloop, and the raft. I think those three, just very proud of them.
Yep. Favorite tracks?
Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, favorite track, there's too many, isn't there, really? I think from all the oceans, I think my favorite will have to be the Ardent Ocean, because that's where you start. And I think the listening experience of when you get in your boat and listen to those tracks for the first time, I think that's quite a special moment, because that's when you kind of start your epic sailing journey, and hearing that Ardent Ocean music tracks that's also good. There's loads. I mean, the login page track as well is just phenomenal. There's so much involved in all the music and all the oceans, so it's such a hard question, but probably Ardent Ocean.
Is that the one we played in the release date trailer?
Yeah. In the very first trailer.
The players have heard it already. And
that's right.
I saw a lot of comments about them liking it.
That's good stuff.
I'm going to say as well to anyone watching right now, make sure that when you're playing sailing, play with the sound on. Enjoy those sounds. A follow-up question as well. Do you have a favorite sound effect that you worked on for sailing?
I think there's a lot of activities and facilities on the boat. The cannons, I think, sound amazing. They just sound perfect. The projectiles, they go and they explode. It's just, Mod Jamesy did that, and, I keep telling him how much I love it. So, Mod Jamesy, if you're watching this, thank you, mate. Great sounds. And then I think the ocean ambiences are great as well. We kind of put a lot of work into making each region of the ocean have its specific set of sounds. You've got the ardent ocean going down to the unquiet, shrouded ocean. And we worked a lot with Mod Lenny and Mod Nin and Mod Ed to make sure we had like an ambient system so that when you transition from one region to another, the sounds would change with them and they change really seamlessly. So, I think that kind of whole environment and atmosphere just adds a lot to sailing. And I think that as a whole would probably be one of my additional favorites. Yeah.
Great. So Elena and Surma, I think you both met Alan Walker himself, right, when he came down. Can you tell us a little bit more about what it was like working with him or even just meeting him?
Yeah, I'll start. It was really cool. So I didn't really know what to expect, but he struck me as a very down-to-earth guy. He's a player at the end of the day, and we just ended up talking about the game a lot. He was also shocked to hear that I'm Norwegian, and we just kind of talked Norwegian for a bit as well, which was cool. And yeah, my mom was kind of more starstruck on my behalf, I think, when I told her afterwards. But yeah, it was really cool. We've never really had a partnership like that, I think, which is neat, but exciting, and I hope we get to see more of that kind of stuff going forwards as well.
It's not every day that you get to meet and work with someone like Alan. His musical knowledge and his talents are just amazing. And when we brought him into the studio and we kind of worked together on the sailing login track, that was a really, really awesome moment. And, just kind of collaborating like that was great. I feel really privileged to have been able to do that with him and work with him. So yeah, a great experience.
Huge career highlight, I bet.
Yeah.
Modelena, we describe you, and the players do as well, as the head of sailing. I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't know that.
How has it been seeing these wonderful creative people that we work with bringing your designs and obviously the team's designs to life? Just describe that feeling.
It's heartwarming. I'm so proud of what the team's achieved, and by no means is this a solo effort. This has been the team the whole way through. I was saying it earlier as well. There's so many people that, you're seeing part of the team today, but there's so many more people who worked on this tirelessly. And I was saying it to the team a couple of weeks ago when we did the pre-release, because, and some players might not know, but sailing exists. All of the code is live right now. It's just inaccessible. And we wanted to do that so that we could weed out all of the issues that would come from other things in the game that we may have touched, which I'm glad we did. But seeing that update go live was almost like a little experiment to see how is the actual launch day gonna go. And I told my team you guys are warriors. You've been at this for 3 years, and at some points it's been stressful. It's been you pulled many, many long hours. And all the time, throughout the whole thing, it's easy to get cranky. It's easy to get, upset about things when you're tired and you're stressed. The team's not been like that. They've been through it all together. And I'm just so incredibly proud of what everyone's achieved. And it's been the attitude of, yeah, things might be stressful right now, but we're all in this together. We're all in the same boat. Right? We're on this voyage together. Okay, I'm going to stop now before I do more sailing puns. But honestly, I'm super proud of everything the team's achieved.
Yeah, this made me a little bit emotional as well, because it's such a moment that we're here, and yeah, just seeing everything coming to life is a big deal. So, and thank you to our wonderful audience for being here with us in this moment. Okay, so sorry, we have to wrap this segment up now, but thank you so much for that insight.
Thank you for having us on.
We're going to be heading in game soon to the Blue Moon Inn in Varrock. But yeah, let us know in the chat what your sailing playlist is like. If you're playing with the sound on or off, it better be on. But if it's off, let us know what songs you're adding to the sailing playlist. Okay, so now, we're at the Gnome Stronghold now, but heading over to the Blue Moon Inn. I hope you guys managed to find it okay, because I was told that Americans like to say that it's the second floor, but for UK people, it's the first floor. So I was worried about people actually finding their way there. Oh, wow, there's already people there. Awesome. Okay. We are just about ready with our next segment.
Don't mind me.
I can't wait to introduce this cast. Welcome to Mod Ash. Welcome back to Mod Aiza and Mod Kieran. I'm sure the chat knows exactly who you are, but just in case, would you all like to introduce yourselves?
Oh, everyone's looking at me. Okay.
Reintroduce yourself.
All right. I'm Mod Aiza, the Associate Director of Community and Social for Old School RuneScape. Very long title. But essentially, I run the community team, the wonderful folks that engage out with you in terms of feedback and make sure the developers have all of the info that they need to make the updates the way that they are. And yeah, I've been at Jagex since like 2017, apart from a small break that I had where I pursued a career on Twitch. That's me.
Yay!
Hello, I'm Mod Ash. I'm a product manager. I've been acting as product owner on Sailing, and I've been around Jagex in one job or another since 2004 and played RuneScape for 2.5 years before that, including being a forum mod in my spare time. Gosh, all these people look so young to me sometimes.
It's the moisturizer, Ash. That's what it is. Secretly, I'm really old inside.
Oh. And I'm Mod Kieran. I've been at Jagex since 2015, over 10 years now. I'm the design director for Old School RuneScape, and I also was playing when I was back in 2007, been playing since, pretty much. So, long time, long journey, and, well, we've reached our destination. Sailing's coming.
So Aiza is my boss, so it feels weird questioning you, Aiza. you're on the hot seat. My first question for you is, how have you found the process of, polling an entire new skill? Basically from Greenlight and Refinement. What can you share with us about your thoughts of that and how essentially the strategic changes have influenced the way that we have polled Sailing?
Sure. So first of all, long. It has been very long, but I think it's been worthwhile. A serious answer is looking at it strategically. One of the first things that we wanted to make sure when we looked at bringing in a new skill was that we avoided the mistakes that we'd made in the past, in that it was never going to work so well if we just presented another skill that was fully fleshed out in terms of design and expecting you to just accept it and take it on and run with it. So the decision was made really early on that the first thing we would do is we'll just make sure that people actually want a skill, get us that approval so that we could go ahead and then build out a process that allowed people to have input all the way through so that there were multiple checkpoints. Before we even started looking at designs, it was a case of, do you want a skill? And then if you want a skill, what types of skills would you be interested in, which could then help form better designs, which we then, came forward with in terms of the initial green light of, do you like these skills? Which one of them should we proceed further with in terms of the design? And then should we actually add it? It really was just about making sure that there were multiple touch points where if people really didn't like what we were doing, they could say no, and that we would turn back on that and we would move on to something else. I think before we even looked at the new skill, we wanted to introduce the whole green light process generally in terms of design development because we had one of the issues where we would find more often than not, we were developing things that were already too far into development to incorporate a lot of player feedback. Our game's built on player feedback, right? Especially when it comes to the polls and people having their say. So it was important to make sure, that there was plenty of chance for that to happen before it came in. I think looking forward, in terms of improvements, I think if we go to do another skill, there's going to be a lot that's going to be different, but also a lot of it will stay the same. I'd like to follow roughly the same process, make it a little bit shorter, but also have a few more of those touch points. So if we do have, further close calls, for example, we have ways to further validate those and move forward. But overall, I'm really happy with how everything went down. I'm really grateful to have such a wonderful team, both in community and design, to have helped push through all of that. And even with art as well, early on concepting to showcase what these skills could have been, really helped sell the story of what a skill could be. Without that, all of it would have just flopped, I think. So yeah, great job to everyone involved and also to the community for sticking with us through it. It's been a bloody long time. There's been a lot of information shared. I'd be surprised if everyone out there has managed to keep up, which is probably a good thing because it means that you're going to go into the new skill and have something new to explore and experience for the first time, which is a magical moment that does not come very often in this game.
I think one of the coolest things about the sort of newer approach to the polling is that we don't have to reveal absolutely everything in the blogs. So there will be an element of excitement, exploration to discover on launch. Mod Ash, I would love to come to you next. I'd love to know more about creating the roadmap for players in regards to sailing. So what kinds of considerations go into that, and how much does or will player feedback influence that process?
Well, player feedback's got to be at the core of it, since ultimately, if it's not for the players, who in the heck else is it for? And also, nothing says player feedback like an actual player-designed island, which is our plans for next year. So what we've got to do is plan a 2026 that's addressing not just what players are excited to see for sailing that we aren't including on launch, but also trying to predict what players will be wanting in a month and a half's time when, say, maybe the shine's worn off a bit and they're starting to look for more variety in places. What will they be gagging for by Christmas time that we can hopefully be waving on the horizon for early 2026? So we've gone with trying to take one of the storylines that's coming in the launch tomorrow and taking that a bit further. And that involves some tech involving boats that operate themselves, NPC boats. And with that in development, we can hopefully leverage that to make a new kind of port task. And maybe that will be welcome variety when you've been doing the courier and bounty tasks over the Christmas break. So we'd like to offer that as part of the expansions towards the start of 2026. Beyond that, though, we'll have a bit more time because, with the best will in the world, logistics are also important for being able to deliver anything. That's why one of the reasons we can't start off the year with, say, a colossal new sea expansion and the player-designed island. It wouldn't be ready. But gives a bit more time, maybe into the summer, we can start working on slightly bigger things. Hopefully the player-designed island. Looking forward to seeing what that turns out to be. We've got another of the quests that we think would be right for a sequel by then, one of the existing storylines. And towards the end of the year, well, for the moment, as we've said in one of the blogs, we're guessing that players might be ready for us to expand into one of the other oceans that isn't out on launch. But we don't have to. Barracuda trials might be the hottest topic, so maybe we should prioritise one of those. Or if it turns out that you're actually comfortable with the amount of sea you've got and what you're really gagging for is more variety of styles of boat, maybe some Fremnik ones, some gnome ones, that kind of thing, maybe we should be exploring that instead. Come later 2026, we'll have hopefully more flexibility to deliver whatever it turns out you really are wanting. For now, we've put out a rough roadmap, and the reason we've done that is that people keep asking, quite reasonably, well, what are you doing next with it? After all, sailing will be going into a game which has skills that have expanded over 20 years, and with the best will in the world, sailing ain't going to have that level of depth and expansion on launch. Occasionally, players might say, well, why don't you just wait till it does then? So, well, because if we make you wait 20 years for this thing we polled like 2 years ago, you might, retire. I might retire.
Please don't.
Sailing is launching in a place that's like so far beyond where the other skills launched, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, most of the skills launched with the most basic aspects of them only, and sailing's got so much more to offer than that. Like, it's crazy.
But there's the thing about sailing is it's got so much potential.
Yeah.
There's so many ideas we teased and thought about and joked about. I really love to see what we end up delivering for the players and what they make of it. And that won't just be a 2026 thing. Should emphasise, though, sailing is not the only thing we've got planned. We already announced, say, Blood Moon Rises, the monarchy quest, and we have some other very exciting things that I'm sure marketing would shoot me if I leak right now. So I look forward to some of these other plans being revealed, but not right now.
That's the other thing we've got to squeeze in logistically, right? Along of all the sailing things, it's filling them out in the schedule alongside our other projects.
Kieran, blue sky thinking here, but what's your long-term vision for sailing, if you have one?
At a core, right, the potential I think is massive because you can do a thing that you've never been able to do before. Like, most skills don't really tend to do it quite that directly. Like, if you introduce mining today, what can you do now? What's the potential? You can add a few new rocks and get a few items into the game. But the potential of sailing is you can explore in a different type of way. It's almost a new type of content, right? Like combat on a boat, doing an update with that, that's a new type of thing. We've never done that sort of thing before. Who knows what you could do in terms of a quest and a narrative that involves sailing. Like that could be really interesting, and it steps up way beyond what we've done in the past. As we all know, that Bon Voyage quest to Fossil Island, the interactions with that boat are not as fun.
And Cabin Fever, which was quite groundbreaking for its time, but it's, I suppose, the most clunky, slow-paced interacting with the furniture sea battle I ever want to experience.
Yeah, but it's so tedious. But like all of those things aside, like what if we have a raid on the sea, right? Like there's so many interesting things you could do it. What if the new raid is somewhere else on land in a cavern somewhere, but the first part of the raid is sailing there, and that's a section of the raid. Like there's so many interesting things you could do with it. That's what I'm excited about. Is all that potential that we're sort of unlocking with this, and it's a new way to discover areas. Like I think quests have always been a big one in the game, right? Like you complete a quest, you complete a story, you get access to this region of the map. Sailing has become is also a very natural way where we can tie in new locations that link very much to a skill and progression in the game. It should feel awesome to progress it. So yeah, there's so much we could do with it. There's not necessarily like this one specific vision, because then now it's just another tool in our arsenal that alongside all the other things. And that's the other thing I would say is like sailing should be as important as any other skill in game. And so there's maybe more for us to catch up with, but it wants to feel as important as the other skills. And so we want it to be in that sweet spot.
So I wanted all three of you on here because you've all been at Jagex for quite a long time. And I'm very curious to get your thoughts on whether this moment in time with sailing launching tomorrow, does it feel surreal that we're launching a new skill to you? Were you always kind of confident that eventually one day Jagex would get a new skill? You've seen other skills kind of fail in the past. Did you, at any point, did you think, yes, we're going to get a new skill? Like, how does it feel?
It's just another day in the office. No, I'm kidding. It is surreal. But I'll be honest in saying that, yeah, I knew this day would come. I think at the moment that we started working through the new process, I was so sold and bought into the fact that this was the right way to go about it. I truly felt like it would lead to us having something at some point. When? I didn't know that. But yeah, the day would eventually come. It's surreal that it's happening tomorrow. Yeah. It's terrifying that it's happening tomorrow, but also extremely exciting. But no, I had full confidence. I had full confidence in the team that we had working behind it. The team themselves have developed so much over the years, which is, I mentioned before, like the other skills compared to the skill pictures we put forward, they were so vastly different. We weren't ready then. I think we are ready now. I think the team have proved that they're ready now. I also think that the community have proved that they're ready as well. And that's probably just as important as the team, because without having the input and interactions with players the way that we have, we wouldn't have got to the point that we're at. We wouldn't have had the buy-in that we've had, and we also wouldn't have had the challenges of the people that weren't so confident, that really pushed us to prove that we could do the things that they felt like that we couldn't. So yes, very surreal, extremely exciting. I can't wait for people to experience it tomorrow. I think Kieran pointed out, it's like, this is the most developed a skill has ever been in Old School's release. There's so much to it that no other skills have had before. I really think people are going to be blown out of the water, no pun intended. Just really experiencing what a modern skill implementation actually looks like, and I'm incredibly hyped to just experience that along with everyone. Like this is the first time in 12 years of Old School's history that it's happening.
It's huge.
It doesn't come along very often. So
we said it in the past, like when we first discussed skills, even the past skills, like a new skill launch was quite a regular thing in 2007. Like in the few years before that, there was several coming out. It was quite common. It's almost strange that we've never done one. And so we've had 12, nearly 13 years of Old School RuneScape now, which is crazy.
13 in Feb.
Building trust with players.
We're finally doing it. It feels like a sort of update that in a sense feels old school because you're used to that experience and back then of like that day one of a skill and everything, and we're finally getting it in this version of RuneScape, and I think the game so deserves it, and especially on the back of the last year this game's had, like this is like a culmination of all of that.
Also, do you remember how exciting those launch days were?
Yeah.
The recent updates forum just spammed with, oh my god, it's construction skill, player-owned houses. And oh my god, everyone's killing each other in Falador. Exciting, iconic moments that a new skill can bring. Yeah, watch this space.
Please, I don't want anyone killing each other in the ocean.
This piracy is really happening.
Yes, it's getting out of hand.
Yeah. So that aside, they were so exciting, those moments, and it's quite understandable that our surveys, going even back to 2016, players were saying they'd be really excited for a new skill, and along with area expansions and other kinds of content, it's sort of felt inevitable to me that eventually we would have a design worthy of the players actually saying yes to it, and like you've described, getting the agreement on there being a skill and then what kind of skill, it felt like the right way to let players coalesce around something they could all be excited about, coupled with, as we've described, the team finally having, I think, the size, the engine developers, so we don't have to say, no, it's engine work, the ability to actually deliver something on this scale. It's the most fun skill I can remember feeling. And construction was groundbreaking in its way because you could sort of customise your space. And 2006, that was groundbreaking. I think this is groundbreaking for 2025, and I really look forward to seeing the, well, not hype train, but hype boat, whatever it is, set sail tomorrow.
Seas of hype. Yeah. It's incredibly exciting. And it's like, to also want to just clarify, I don't mean any shade on previous skill pitches either. I know that a huge amount of passion and love went into the design for warding. I know that Mod West was like putting in hours and hours and hours of time, and I think that, you know, for a skill that was entirely designed without the community's input until the very end, it was a fantastic pitch. But yeah, back to my point before, I just don't think the team were ready. I actually feel, I might be told off for saying this, but I think if we'd have actually got that passed and released it, we probably might not have seen another skill happen again, because we would have had so many difficulties because of the team size and the resource constraints compared to now. Like the time really,
it would have been a massive challenge at the time.
Yeah.
I think like the warding design was really solid, but it's not as exciting as this. Like warding was intentionally quite like basic in terms of its production skill. It's going to feel like the ones in game. It wasn't going to feel groundbreaking. Well, this feels groundbreaking, so exciting, and
literally groundbreaking. You're breaking from the ground.
There's no ground. Yeah, totally. So I totally agree.
It's great to get your insight, especially as basically Jagex veterans. So thank you so much for that. Okay, chat, we are almost at the end of our pub crawl, unfortunately. Before we call it a night, let's head on over to the Jolly Boar Inn in Varrock, and we're going to have one last drink to celebrate. Oh no, Mod Shogun is in jail. I don't know what happened in that pub crawl, how you managed to get into jail. Oh, but we're seamlessly at the last pub. Okay, join us at the Jolly Boar Inn while we get our last round of guests. Thank you so much for all the love in the chat, by the way. I've been reading it, and yeah, we just really appreciate all the support. Okay, we're also going to try and get, if we can, I'm not 100% sure if we can. Oh, we can. got it from my lovely behind the scenes team. We're going to take a look at some of the behind the scenes imagery that we caught. So this is some of the fashion scape, and I'm going to introduce my next round of guests so that we can basically have an impromptu fashion contest live on stream. So we have Mod Elena, Mod Husky, and Mod Lenny back in the studio. This is our last segment. Who, in your opinion, has won the sailing fashion scape? We'll go through it picture by picture. What do you guys think? Live reactions.
I think Limbo that's on screen now is probably my favourite. Something about the pendant and the staff together is just a good combination. Very nautical feeling.
I've never seen that combo before. It's quite original. Yeah.
Aww. They're like a K-pop dance group.
I love that.
Aww. Oh, we've got
that one is
Wookiee
really
here.
cool as well.
Oh wow, it's like an undead sort of vibe.
Very fitting since we all watched Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zarkadel's outfit.
I think if I were to pick a favorite, that's probably the one. I was
Is that
gonna
a-
say, is that pet theirs? But it might not be because it's facing the
Yeah, it's
wrong
going the
way.
wrong
But
way.
the Quetzin
Yeah.
pet is actually so fitting because it's
It's
almost like
a shoulder parrot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, and then we're back at BN22. Okay, so these were the top outfits that we saw. Yeah, well, amazing job, guys. Thank you so much for... I was worried, but I was like, are people going to show up? So many of you showed up, so thank you so much. Okay, so do you have any words or messages that you want to end the stream with for the community? Like, this is your chance to just get a little bit emotional. It's the eve of sailing.
I thought that was my last segment, you know. My previous segment was emotional. Wow, I don't know. It's been a crazy 3 years, and I hope you guys enjoy it, you know. Yeah. From all of us to all of you, we hope you enjoy sailing.
I think I'm going to save the crying for tomorrow. I've said to everyone here, I'm probably going to cry at about 8 o'clock tomorrow at how overwhelming it is.
In the morning or evening?
Evening.
We've scheduled it to be after hours.
If I'm crying at 8 o'clock in the morning, something else horrifically wrong happened.
Yep.
Before I do get sentimental, I'll probably share just 2 tips with the players.
Yeah.
Thinking about this.
This is your time.
One for the casuals and one for the experienced people who are going a bit sweaty. If you're a casual and he couldn't join us here on the set, so I really want to shout out Mod Abe on the work he's done with charting. It is phenomenal. There are so many jokes in charting for like someone who is taking their time to just enjoy, whether that's what is the name of the actual asset that I am charting? If I got a drink, what is the name of the drink? The actual individual messages, but also don't forget to just examine them.
Yeah.
Like there's so many cool, funny examine texts where I'm like there's a creative there that should be celebrated, I guess, in Mod Abe,
100%.
where, you know, I'm that developer who's really boring and goes, it's a tree, you know? And then I wish I could come up with more creative examines.
It's a bigger looking tree.
for those who are looking to take their time, really enjoy charting and remember to right-click examine all the chartable things. For those going a bit more efficient, I obviously don't want to spoil meta things and all that, but I think a big one we've picked up internally is if you're going somewhere, grab a task. It is free XP that you are just missing out going to a place. Even if you're on a random quest and going somewhere because of a quest and you're sailing there, grab a task. Like every tile is just XP gained as long as that task is progressing towards your destination. I could definitely see sailing being like hyper optimized between like grab a task to go from this place or grab a task to come back from that place and then all that sort of stuff. So I think for the hyper-optimized people, maybe don't just look at one training method and thinking, how can I weave in those extra port tasks? And it'll really, really accelerate your sailing progress. And then for the sentimental stuff, I just, again, want to shout out the team. I said it on the same podcast. I know these are just words to the players. They're not here. They don't feel the bonds. They don't feel the ups and the downs. The times where we fight over content because we're so passionately butting heads about no, it should work that way. It should work this way. You're an idiot. No, you're an idiot. And then you go and get more opinions from the team. It's been such a strong collaboration with everybody. And that's what makes diamonds, right? And that's what I truly think sailing is. Genuinely, I feel like I've surrounded myself with geniuses to the point where I'm the slacker on the team. And if I'm in that position, I think that's just a reason for to show how strong sailing is, you know, because not to toot my own horn, I think I do a pretty okay job sometimes and everyone else is exceeding that. So you guys are all awesome. Everyone who's behind the scenes is awesome. And then just a final thank you to our NDA players. I know they're like the unsung heroes, but like as a designer, when you're not sure if you can post on Reddit or what to say, and there's a lot of like extra like stuff going around sailing, you know, the whole new skill, do I want it or not discussion. It was so incredibly valuable just to have people who I could just talk to almost as a player. I know you're a member of staff, but just be, hey, what do you think of this idea? Or I've had some thoughts, or I've got a cool thing I work on. I just want some feedback that's not with the team. That is such an incredibly valuable resource. And, you know, we can't name them because that's the point of it. Like, you know, they might come out and say, I did that. But to all those people, you know who you are. You're in that Discord channel. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, because like that has infinitely made sailing better as well.
100%.
Yeah, and I suppose, you know, I'd like to just add more thanks as well to, like Husky said, the team, to the NDA players, but just generally to every player that's helped us on this journey. This has been several years in the making, from ideation, you know, concepts for what sailing might be, and then moving on to the alpha, the beta, everyone that was at RuneFest talking to us and giving us feedback on what they were playing that day, people that have been posting on Reddit, on Twitter, providing feedback, the NDA players. Sailing wouldn't be in the state it's in without every one of you, so huge thank you to everyone that's kind of helped us along this way and given so much feedback.
Yeah, I want to echo that myself as well. Like, we've been on this project for a very long time, and we know that it hasn't always been smooth sailing. But players have stuck with us the whole time and continue to give us feedback, even if maybe sometimes we didn't want to hear it. But they've given us that feedback, and that is what is going to make sailing so special. That is why I think sailing is so special. And I cannot wait. I feel so confident with sailing. Like, I feel so confident that people are going to love it. Like, there's going to be feedback things. There's going to be things we need to fix. But I know with the amount of love and effort put into this project, the team that we're working with, the awesome community that we have, like, I'm so excited for people to try it.
The conversation earlier on stream as well about polling made me remember something I felt really early on in the project when we did basically when the skill passed, when sailing passed. We were all celebrating. We were like, yeah, we did it. Oh God, now we have to make the thing.
Yeah.
But it hit me at the time as well that we're so privileged to be trusted by the community to make such a big change to the game. Like, I'm tearing up now, honestly. It's such a humbling experience to be given that trust by the community, because people are scared of new skills. I get it. It's a big change. I'm scared. But I think now looking back, it was the right call, and sailing is going to be awesome.
It will be.
Yeah, I remember having literally, you know, saying to you after it passed, now we need to go make the damn thing. And, you know, as much as dreams and visions back in refinement are like a good starting block for the ideas and feels you want to do, actually tackling it, like, I don't know, like, it's crazy to think we're now on the other end of that. And I really liked what Mod Grubb said, I think, on the Dev Diary. It was like, it's the privilege of the position, right? I don't feel like I work a day in my life. And obviously I do. I work really hard. I really do try, and I put a lot into it. But, like, there's so much in other people's works where they've got, like, bosses breathing down their neck and we have so much freedom in this job. It's so privileged, and we get to talk to players, and we get to work with awesome people who also are actually doing hard work and caring about the project. It's like I don't know, that's invaluable to me. I think, like, you know, as I go on for the rest of my life, I'm going to remember being part of this team and the awesome things that we did together, because, like, it literally forms your life. You know?
And the comments from players as well that just make it so special.
We're going to be reading them all, I guarantee you.
Yeah.
Like, if there isn't a pressing thing that we need to fix and hotfix tomorrow, you know, touch wood, we're going to be, like, spam refreshing Reddit, or, like, looking to see what YouTube videos people go and read those comments. I guarantee if you've said something really nice or really horrible in a comment, we've also probably read it. So
live streams, Twitch chats, you know, we might not reply to everything, obviously, because there's going to be a lot, but we read most of it.
There's so many moments I'm looking forward to, like, a streamer doing X and Y happening to them, and it's just going to be funny. So, and I can't wait for chat's reaction to all that as well. And then there's so much joy to be found in tomorrow's update, and the exploration and discovering what's being cooked up.
Yeah, and it's so crazy that I think 2 years ago I was meant to be coming on this project for a couple of months to help build a few core systems, and 2 years later here I still am, and I'm so glad that I've been along for the whole journey. Like, it's been challenging, it's been stressful at times, but it's been a great project to be on that full ride for.
I'm glad you stuck around.
Yeah, the amount of
done some useful stuff.
I tried.
The amount of really complicated tech issues where I'm like, I've had a look at this. I'm going to go get mod letting. And it's been so good to have you there as like another brain to pick for that, or maybe just to even give you the job because you've got a really good idea to solve it. All of the really cool stuff that's like so under the hood that players are just never going to appreciate. Like you guys saying, the boat is still there at your dock in your horribly parked position that you probably it just ended up at because you were spam clicking the gangplank to leave when you got in range.
The sad thing with a lot of it is that, if people kind of really notice the work that I've been done on it, it probably means I've done a bad job.
Yeah, it's probably bugged or something, right? Even like, I've said it before, the shipyard being non-instanced was such a huge thing to just like, you expect to be in like POH construction. It's build mode. Nobody can come in and touch things. It's just you. But now you can genuinely just be building things on your ship and seeing everyone else running around and everyone else interacting with things. So it's just like, those are just the small things that like, I'm sure some players will notice, but like, I appreciate it.
I'm just imagining people like stood there selling planks now. Like
on the shipyard.
Yeah, in the shipyard, just running planks like back and forth. People are going to do that.
Runners, yeah, plank runners.
Yeah, there's going to be a market for it. I guarantee it.
I guarantee people will do that. They'll just be like, I'm selling this, and you're like, I'm not going to my bank. I'm going to pay a premium because the planks are here as opposed to 10, 15 seconds ago, or however long it takes to get there.
Any plank runners in the chat?
Day one moneymaker.
All right. I hate to end it there, but unfortunately we do have to wrap up. So I want to say a massive thank you to you guys. Our wonderful guests, as well as just the entire team behind the scenes, working on sailing, everyone managing the event today, and our wonderful audience. What a journey, really, from concept to reality. This is so surreal. Sailing launches tomorrow. It's 10 a.m. UTC. We will keep you updated via the news post, the game status page, if we foresee any changes to that, but it should be 10 a.m. And it's going to be amazing. I want to let you know that the team will be together in the office monitoring the update super closely. So we're going to be making sure that we address any feedback or issues that might arise. Please keep talking to us, keep communicating with us, and we will do our best to address things and triage issues. You can also head on over to our Discord server if you want to engage with us live. We'll be happy to have you. That's !Discord. A huge thanks to everyone at home. I saw all of the love in chat, especially while the devs were talking. So I wanted to butt in and tell you that the chat was so lovely today. And it's comments like that really make us like so motivated to do what we do. So thank you so much. And please keep showing that positivity if you're feeling it with the dev team. It makes a world of difference. Thank you for trusting us with this update. As I said, I think you're going to love it. I'm super confident in it. We've had years of refinement, development, and this product is amazing. I can't wait for you guys to play it. So, and I also can't wait for your suggestions as well to see where we take things further, right? It's a skill. We update all of our skills. This will be no different. This is the last time that I'm going to be able to call you guys land lovers. So all of you in the chat, you are all land lovers. But tomorrow, you should be sailors. Don't go too far, though. It's time to give someone a raid. And it looks like we are going to raid, how fitting, Boaty. So from all of us here at Jagex, we will see you on the sea tomorrow. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.